Starfield wouldn't be a Bethesda game without mods, and despite the game having come out recently, there's already over 800 community developed mods on the Nexus website, and today I want to talk about the best and essential mods that will massively improve your gameplay experience. Now, this first mod here addresses one of the more contentious issues with Starfield. AMD's FSR upscaler is basically the only thing that shipped with the game, with no native support for DLSS. Thankfully, there is a DLSS mod that supports the latest upscaler NVIDIA have released alongside with their frame generation technology, which can boost your FPS a ton. If you have an RTX 4000 series GPU, you'll see a pretty major FPS bump in Starfield with this mod. For those of you with an RTX 2000 or 3000 series GPU, you'll only get the benefits of DLSS 3.5 upscaling. And testing them against each other, the differences are pretty comparable. At like 300% zoom, DLSS clearly resolves more detail and looks overall more sharp, but it also has more ghosting and stuff. So it's really not that big of an improvement unless you have an RTX 4000 series GPU, at which point you'll get the frame generation and see a massive FPS bump. That said, this mod is still pretty young, so you could run into a few bugs here and there. Now, the next mod I want to talk about is absolutely essential for a pleasant gaming experience, and before I get into that, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. Life is hard. When you break a bone, you go to the doctor. When you get sick, you take medicine. And when you have depression, anxiety, or any other mental health trouble, we should seek therapy. The brain is an organ in the body, and it needs care just like any other. But finding time to go to a therapist's office in today's hectic world is difficult. BetterHelp makes online therapy extremely easy. I know because I've used it. Juggling life, work, kids, and marriage isn't easy. I don't care who you are, it's hard. Speaking with a therapist at BetterHelp taught me how to be a better communicator in my personal life and how to more healthily interpret the actions of people around me. It seems obvious when you think about it, but why would you expect to have all of the answers in life? You don't. And there are people who spend their time training and learning to help you navigate your life better. So why not take advantage of that? Simply fill out a questionnaire on their website and BetterHelp can match you with a therapist in as little as a few days. Plus, if you use my link in the description, betterhelp.com/levelcapgaming, you'll get 10% off your first month. So if you're struggling in life, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description, and thanks again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. Alright, so this next essential mod is Starfield FOV. The game's default FOV is 85, which is just barely on the edge of being nausea-inducing for me. To change it, simply add these two lines to your Starfield custom.ini file to manually configure your in-game FOV. The value range goes from 70 to 120. Here I have mine set to 95, which I find to be a much more comfortable field of view. There's also a tweak that you can make to the FOV of the dialogue camera when talking to NPCs, however, it is a little buggy, so I'd avoid it for now. Another really cool addition is Neutral LUTs mod. This replaces Starfield's post-processing color grading with a flatter overall look. It's not altogether a perfect upgrade though. Some scenes will look a bit more washed out compared to the vanilla experience, but others will look like you just removed an awful Instagram filter to reveal the game's actual colors and contrast. Basically, if Bethesda's artistic intent is a little too aggressive for you, this mod is a nice alternative. The mod's author is also constantly updating this one, so be sure to stay up to date with their progress. They also include some optional engine value tweaks that you can use to tune the mod a little bit. Overall, I think this one boils down mostly to personal preference, but for someone like me who really likes a full contrast ratio, it is kind of nice. Now, Starfield's inventory system is one of my biggest gripes with the game, and I think it's shared by quite a few other players. You spend so much time trying to navigate confusing menus, they don't make good use of the space, they don't show the information that you need, and they generally are just cumbersome and annoying to interact with. Thankfully, the StarUI mod is a huge upgrade here. It shrinks down inventory lists to fit a lot more on screen at once, while also giving you more important stats like damage, DPS, value, ammo type, and more. PC players will appreciate the changes since the mouse will let you accurately access these menus quickly, and of all the mods I've tried so far, this is easily the most essential for quote-unquote fixing Starfield. Another mod that you should check out is the Smooth Ship Reticle mod. This makes the targeting reticle of your ship run at a much higher frame rate, which makes it look just a lot smoother. The mod also includes an alternative version that smooths all of the game's UI elements. Personally, I'd avoid the one for all of them since it can alter how fast some of the animations play, which might be a little bit distracting. Now, unfortunately, the vanilla heads-up display customization in Starfield is pretty limited, but there's two mods that add essential missing features. The BetterHUD mod allows you to disable enemy health and hit markers. It also moves the location of pop-ups to the bottom of the screen and makes the XP indicator smaller. You can use either mod or both as they operate independently. I don't personally mind the enemy health bars and hit markers since the game feels pretty arcadey overall, but if you're looking to just bump up the immersion of the game, these are definitely going to help out. Another really nice quality of life upgrade is the enhanced player health bar mod. By default, your health stays white as it drains out until about the last 25%, which is really hard to read at a glance. Sometimes you're almost dead and you don't realize it because all your UI is white. This mod adds additional color states at 75 health, 50% health, and 25%. So as your health drains, you can quickly gauge how low it is with your peripheral vision. The mod comes in two varieties for different color options, and there's also a mod that turns the boost bar blue, but I think that's a little bit distracting. Now, if you've been watching this video up to this point, then chances are you're a fan of Starfield, and you've probably loaded up the game and seen the intro loading screens many times. Most of us would probably be fine with never seeing them again. Thankfully, there's Cleanfield mod. This mod replaces all of the intros with empty files, which means as soon as the game loads, it's on the main menu. And like some of the mods we've covered so far, this one has a few options that you can tweak. It includes a version that keeps the message of the day banner on the main menu, and one that has the Starfield logo on the main menu, and one that has both the logo and banner. Now, like I mentioned before, there's 800 plus mods on the website already, and there's definitely some honorable mention mods here. Achievement Enabler ensures that you'll always unlock your achievements when running mods or console commands that would otherwise disable them. Undelayed Menus speeds up the transition animations for opening and closing menus, but it still has a few bugs that the author needs to clean up. Less Spongy Enemies reduces the bonus HP assigned randomly to NPCs that can turn some of them into bullet sponges. If enemies appearing on your compass is too immersion breaking for you, you can install the No Enemies on Compass mod. The Bullet Hole Impact mods adds bullet wounds to NPCs when they get shot. And finally, there's an easy digipick for folks who don't enjoy Starfield's lock picking system. It reduces the difficulty of all locks in the game to single slot puzzles. Now, Starfield's modding is basically in its infancy right now, and there's so many areas and opportunities for the community to radically overhaul the game. Essential modding tools like Script Extender are already out, which means some really extensive mods are probably just around the corner. And considering just the upgrades and quality of life mods for Bethesda's past games, I'm very excited to see what Starfield can eventually turn into. What kind of mods do you want to see for Starfield? Let me know in the comments, and next up, check out my first impressions of Starfield video right here. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.